second half.
Oh, it's starting. Whoops. Okay.
I went ahead and hit record because I like the idea of the cold open. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It just kind of starts. There's a podcast called The Nerdist, and I haven't listened to it, but I heard that it's really cool. Like their openings is basically they have a recording, right? And they just kind of walk in and sit down and kind of as they're talking into their conversation, and then they get into the podcast, which I think is really cool.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
All right, so I guess since this is episode 1 of a brand new podcast, maybe we should introduce everyone and a little bit of what this is going to be about.
I'm
Sound good?
Haley.
Okay. I am Dad. My name's Adam.
I'm Mom. My name's Katrina.
Haley.
I'm Haley. I'm a sister. I'm 13 years old, and I'm from Kentucky, Louisiana.
Kentucky, Louisiana.
You wouldn't know by that, but she's actually smart, even though she sounded like an idiot just now.
England is my city.
All
All right.
We have one more, unfortunately.
Okay, I'm joking. I'm actually pretty smart. I have a pretty high IQ. I mean, I haven't taken an IQ test.
I'm like, you're an idiot. You're like, well, dozens of online IQ tests will prove you different.
All right, you.
We have one more.
I'm another sister.
I thought you were going to say I'm Haley. I was like, no.
And my name is Aubrey.
So we got Dad, Adam, Katrina is the mom, Haley and Aubrey are the 2 daughters. So as you might have guessed by now, our podcast is 4 P's in a podcast.
Yep,
Super clever. You're welcome.
it's amazing.
And this podcast is going to be about our life. You know, we're going to chat with the girls.
Our
Maybe we'll go over life. Maybe we'll talk about funny stuff. Who knows what life is going to bring? But I like the idea of having like not a written record, but like an audio record of our time.
Yeah.
You know, everyone talks about having family nights, but what better time is it? We're actually forced to sit down and fill up
know.
time by talking to each other. I love this. This is so much
This is
fun.
amazing.
But I would just like to point out, we do not only talk whenever we're around these microphones.
That's correct.
Yeah, it's not like the rest of the time we're like, nope, save it for the podcast. It's like we're not recording for 2 days. Don't talk to me.
Yeah, no, we actually do have frequent family times.
But yeah, so what's up, guys? How was your day?
Pretty good.
Today we had a field trip. Actually, 2 places. We went to 2 places.
Where'd you go?
We went to the Crystal Bridges Museum,
Okay.
and then we also went to the Amazeum.
Okay. Now let's slow down a little bit. Now, most people that listen to this may not know the Crystal Bridges Museum is a museum built by the Waltons, who own Walmart. We're from Arkansas, by the way. Kentucky, Louisiana, whatever that was. We're not from either one of those places.
Yeah, this is
We're
all
from
over.
Northwest Arkansas, the home of Walmart, and they have a museum called the
Crystal
Did
Bridges.
did they do the Amazeum too?
Yeah.
Okay, so they have
The Scott Family Amazeum.
okay, so the Waltons they built the
Crystal Bridges.
Crystal Bridges, and it's more like legit art. Like they bring in art from all over the country. It's like a legit museum.
And it's all, and the selling point for the museum is that everything is American.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, everything that they have in there is from American artists.
Oh, really? I didn't know that. What's up, sis?
There was a painting that I saw, and it literally just looks like somebody just drilled a hole in around, like inside, but like around the frame, and then they just sat down. It looked like a real person.
Yeah.
So like
was
someone
amazing.
sitting in the circle.
Like no,
I don't
like
get it.
well, like on the wall. If somebody like drilled inside the wall like a big box,
Oh,
and
okay.
then someone just sat down and just
So it's like a wax
like
figure.
presentable.
It's like a wax figure sitting inside the wall.
Yeah. Well, no, it's not.
It's
That's
a
not what
paint-
it is. It's just a painting.
Okay, so the
that
painting looks
that.
like it's in the wall with the
Yeah.
person sitting into it,
Yeah.
and it looks good.
It looks really real. Looks really good.
Oh, nice.
Shadows
Whenever,
are perfection.
so Aubrey is now a professional art critic, apparently. But I would just like to say,
That art is bad.
I went to Crystal Bridges many of times, and it's all of modern art, and everyone thinks that's boring.
Yeah, it's amazing.
It's not all modern art.
There's a lot of modern
Yeah,
modern
there's
art, though.
Well, and there's a lot of like series. Like they'll have a series where they
Yeah.
have for like 3 months. There's one artist that they kind of showcase. But whenever we all went, it was a lot of different kinds of art. There was like Native American art. There was a lot of Native
like
American
that,
art.
But
Yeah.
whenever we go on field trips, we always look at modern art. I
Oh,
don't
okay.
know why, but yeah.
I've been there one time. The best thing that was that I got out of the whole thing was this grilled cheese sandwich that they made in the food court.
I don't think the food court's that great. You don't like art. You're not an art person.
You're proving my point. The grilled cheese sandwich was mediocre at best, and that was the best part of the whole thing. Okay, actually,
You don't care about the art at all. You're just
No.
like, it's best.
I don't get art. It's the most boring. You walk around and look at pictures that someone painted or drew, whatever. It's painfully boring. I don't get it. You walk around, people like travel all over the place to see this place.
All over the place to
I
see
know.
this place.
What a really well constructed sentence, Dad.
okay.
But you go in and it's like, okay, there's a picture, there's a thing. Can we leave now? This is horrible.
Whenever I go there, okay, let me back up. Whenever I went to Nana's house, my grandma, a couple of days ago, she has this painting in her room. I sat there for about 3 to 5 minutes just looking and observing the painting. That's in her room.
But you're an artist. You like art.
Yeah, that's true.
You're one of those weirdo hippies.
I do like art.
That's rude.
But yes, I
Okay.
do
Face
like
is
art.
rude.
Your life is rude. Oh. By the way, I'm a beatboxer, so is my dad. Mom and Haley are just
We throw
out of
around
the place.
we throw around the word beatboxer very loosely. Okay,
Yeah,
this is the extent of my beatboxing.
That's art.
this is how I sound.
So you're just
have more
repeating
of
the
a
same thing
smooth
over and over
Show us
again.
another one. Like that's actually interesting.
On the talent show, I did a battle. I don't call it a battle, but
Beatboxing battle.
yeah, with my art teacher, Mr. Smith,
Mm-hmm.
and everyone but 2 people in my class said I won.
Show us your skills.
Okay.
That's all we care
I'm
about.
gonna back up. 'Cause
And
I
Haley, don't
break the
interrupt
sound
her.
barrier. I don't want to break the sound barrier, so I'm gonna back up the mic.
Break the sound barrier.
The sound barrier happens
I don't
whenever
know.
you
I don't
are
know what I'm
fast.
talking
You have
about.
one lung. How are you gonna break any sound barriers?
Okay, guys, the sound barrier happens whenever you go fast. That's the sound barrier.
We get it.
It's
but
whenever you go
she's not-
faster than sound.
And
I'm
you
not
think
a
she can do that with her
scientist,
mouth?
Okay.
I just don't understand. Aubrey, that doesn't make sense. Okay, go on. Go on.
I'm not a scientist. I
Go
don't know
on.
everything.
I'm gonna back up the mic so I don't break
If-
the sound barrier.
If you break the sound barrier with your beatboxing, I will
You'll be amazed.
call every church in existence because we found God. And she is my daughter.
And God is a girl.
God is a girl.
10-year-old girl.
Which we all know
Yes.
is literally impossible. I'm surrounded by 3 girls. Okay, I need to chill out a little bit. All right, Aubrey, beatbox.
Gotta stop smiling. Okay.
Not bad.
Not bad
Nice.
at
I have a
all.
better one.
Not
Well,
bad.
we don't want to.
Not bad for a scraggly little 10-year-old, huh?
Mm-hmm.
I just now rolled my eyes, by the way.
So, just for the record, if you think I'm mean to my girls, you're not going to like this podcast. If you don't like parents making fun of their kids, because I believe wholeheartedly,
Yeah.
and obviously there's a line you cross being like legitimately mean to them, but I believe in being joking with them, kind of ribbing them a little bit. You know what I mean? Just to kind of keep them. You don't want their self-esteem to get too high. Especially when they're girls, that's dangerous.
Yeah, you don't want high
Guys.
self-esteem in girls for
No,
sure.
Nope.
Just kidding. I mean, I want my girls to have thick skin because the real world is way different than middle school, than high school, even in colleges these days with how politically correct and their safe spaces. I don't think that college kids could handle this house. I think they would have mental breakdowns. As much as I joke with these girls,
Oh, yeah.
but they're going to be so prepared for life and just for dealing with controversy because I've kind of built up their immune system to BS. You know what I mean?
Right, absolutely.
Haley, you're way tougher than you think you are just by me having me as a dad. So you are welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
What can I say except
You're welcome. I'm from Louisiana, Texas.
Oh, my God.
and it doesn't even make sense.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So we actually did want to talk about something tonight and bullying. And I'm going to give you my little spiel about bullying. And then
Don't get too heated up about it.
No, I hate bullying. Okay, put that out there. Aubrey has a story and she promised that it wouldn't be so painfully boring that we'd punch her face off.
Yeah.
So
We cannot confirm.
And I will
that.
cut you off. I will cut you off if the story gets too boring, okay? But here's the deal. When I talk about giving them a hard time, kind of pestering them, kind of just building up their immune system, not immune system, but their tolerance to being made fun of and stuff like that. It's by design, but there's definitely a line you can cross when it comes into straight bullying. And the word bullying is really hard to say. Bullying.
Bullying. Just say bullying.
Bullying. Okay.
That makes no sense.
Yeah, that sounds weird. Bullying. Ugh, okay. There's got to be another word. But anyway, and I teach my girls all the time, if you see any bullying at school, deal with it. Don't be afraid to stand up for the person being bullied and to be that voice and to be that opposition to the bully. Even if it means the bully comes after you, at least you know you did the right thing. If you girls ever see somebody getting bullied and you just stand by and don't say anything, or at the very least, if you're too scared, the bully's big and you think he might or she might actually physically hurt you, go tell a teacher. But you can't just walk away and turn a blind eye, because then you're complicit. It's not your fault.
What does complicit mean?
Complicit means you're at fault because you didn't do anything, pretty much. But at the same time, it's not your fault because you're not the bully. But I feel, maybe some people feel different. I feel like you have an obligation, if you see someone being bullied, to intervene on some level to help them out.
Yeah.
So Aubrey,
I agree.
now
and I can punch pretty hard. So.
Oh yeah, by the way, before I let you get to your story, this 13-year-old girl has retard strength. Okay.
Excuse me.
She punches my hand and it legitimately hurts. Honey, did she punch your hand?
No, I would not allow that.
No, she can punch really hard. If she gets a flush hit on a bully, or a boy, or someone's messing with her, or she's got to defend herself, it's gonna hurt. This girl hits really hard.
Good.
That was a high five.
High five.
All right.
It's solid high five.
All right, Aubrey.
Gosh.
You got your story? You got it all lined out?
Yep.
Okay. The floor is yours, girly.
Okay. So, I was at recess at school, and we were going to like this little weird wheelbarrow. It's like two handles on the side, and you can like run on it. And then there's this big kid, and he was on it since like the beginning of recess, and he didn't let anybody else get on it just because he's new or whatever. And so
he doesn't have wheelbarrow etiquette yet.
Okay. And so my friend Phoenix, because he's about the height as me finally, and there is someone shorter than me, I've got to admit, I'm so happy about that. And so he asked him, can I please have a turn just real quick, and then I'll let you get back on? He said no.
So Phoenix is asking the big kid for a turn. Okay.
Yeah. And first he said no, like the big kid said no.
Sure.
And then he's like, well, you've been on there since the beginning of recess, like, and we were kind of like seeing you, not to spy on you, but we were like seeing you weren't letting anybody else get on. And he said, I don't care, go away from me, like get away from me or something like that. And sorry, I got kind of mad because like that's my friend, there's no reason to be mad at him.
And the kid's being stingy. It's like, get off, let someone else have a turn. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
I've been there.
Yeah.
The wheelbarrow.
It's kind of hard to say. Wheelbarrow. Okay. So, they kept on like arguing a little bit, blah, blah, blah. And then at some point, the little kid, Phoenix, he started to get a little mad, like pretty mad. And since he has a tiny bit of like a little bit of like my voice, like a pipsqueak voice-ish, like he can admit that, it's fine. Since he had a pipsqueak voice, he got really mad and he climbed up there and he started getting a little bit physically aggressive, and the big kid started to kick him off, even though he punched him and they kicked him off.
Oh my gosh.
So the big kid punched Phoenix off and kicked him off?
Punched him in the
But
chest
did
and
you
then
say
kicked him off
before
by
that
his stomach.
Phoenix was up there hitting him?
Well, I mean, like, he only hit him once. Like, he
Well,
only
Aubrey, come on.
So Phoenix hit the big kid.
once.
Okay, one time, and then the big kid punched him in the chest and then kicked him.
off.
That's
Oh,
called
wow.
self-defense.
So this story is retarded.
And,
Phoenix got up on there.
Yeah, Phoenix is the
Phoenix
bullying.
started it. The kid was defending himself.
well, no, because
I don't understand the
well,
story.
no, like I know me and Dad talked about this earlier. I think yesterday we talked about this.
Mm-hmm.
And Dad said, even though it doesn't matter what the other kid does, you can't hit him. And
No. That's not what I said. You told me that you were getting mad, and you said that you wanted to hit him.
Well, like,
And I told you, hold on, I told you that it doesn't matter words, because you were talking about he was saying words and stuff, that he was making you angry. You said that you wanted to hit him because of what he was saying. And I said, you do not get to physically assault someone because of words. That's what I said.
Yeah.
If someone's physically assaulting you, you have every right, period, to defend yourself at all costs.
But then Phoenix was hitting.
Phoenix started it.
Yeah, because the other kid was just saying words, but then Phoenix came up and started hitting him. Maybe he only hit him once, but he still started like physically assaulting that guy.
well, after they had their little physical fight or whatever, the teacher kind of saw what's happening, and she came up and she said, what's happening? They told him, like they're like, he won't get off because I want to get on. He's been on there like the whole time, and the big kid's like, no, I've been on here for like 5 minutes, and which is basically when recess started, so it makes sense.
So hold on. So recess, you've been about 5 minutes into recess.
Yeah.
You made it sound like you said he's been on there since recess started. He's been on there for 5 minutes. You get 5 minutes on the wheelbarrow and you're done, or else Phoenix comes and beats you up.
Seriously.
That's the rules.
Seriously.
Do you see what's
No.
happening?
That's what you said, Aubrey.
Aubrey.
That's what you said.
You said earlier, but he's been on there like all recess and won't get off. It's been 5 minutes.
Well, not exactly 5 minutes.
Okay, but he's been on the.
Have a little bit of an estimate, please.
He's been on the wheelbarrow for like 5 minutes. I'm sorry, but if I'm on the wheelbarrow for 5 minutes, you told me to get off. I'm going to get lost too. I just got here. Recess just started, man. And Phoenix comes up there, a little runt, says, "Okay, welcome. I'm going to beat you up." Then he got beat up. Phoenix is in the wrong. Thanks for ruining this bully episode. That was the only bully's your friend. I want you to know that.
True. I think you're the bully too.
Haley, do you have any real bullying stories?
Yes, I do. In fact.
Thank God.
So I was on the bus.
I'm going to leave.
No, you're not.
Okay, so I was on the bus, and
I'm just kidding.
there's a kid named Marcus who has always been mean to people since I've known him.
No, I'm sorry. I heard some shaking, and I was trying to figure out who was touching the mic.
So Marcus has been mean to people ever since I met him in like 3rd grade.
Okay.
And I'm in 8th grade, by the way. And he was a bunch of people were like being mean to him, like saying like he was never going to get anywhere. He was like really not smart. And also that day he tried to ask a girl out, and people were making fun of him for that because
That's the kind of stuff that angers me.
Mm-hmm.
And so people were kind of bullying him, I guess. But he was just like laughing about it. So I didn't really see a reason to step in because he was like laughing. It didn't seem like it was bothering him too much, I guess.
I think you're trying to put a brave face on. That's what it kind of sounds like.
But then after those kids got off the bus, there was still one of them left, but he wasn't really talking to Marcus that much. And afterwards, Marcus started being really mean to a kid that was in the front of the bus named Cole, telling him he wasn't smart, he was ugly, and he was really, really short. And I could see he was bothering Cole a little bit. And Marcus has talked about before, like, people bully him, so he gets to bully other people. He just says that, and he's, like, proud of it.
Well, real quick. So do you think the thing with Marcus it's just people messing with him just because they're all kind of friends, kind of deal, or do you think people?
No.
So are people?
They were really like popular kids, and he's not.
So people were legitimately trying to bully Marcus,
Yeah.
and then Marcus is taking it out on Cole.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so then I was sitting kind of in the back of my seat, but I got up to the front of my seat and I looked at Mark and I was like, I snapped at his face and I was like, Marcus, look at me real quick. And he was like, yes, ma'am. And I was like, just because people like him are mean to you, and I pointed to the guy, I was like, just because people like him are mean to you, doesn't mean you can take it out on Cole because he did nothing wrong. You can't be mean to him. And I was like a little upset because every day he's mean to Cole. I've seen maybe once, maybe twice every week those kids do it to him, but every morning, every afternoon, he's mean to Cole. And he's talked about him being mean to Cole just because other people bully him. So it's his right to be able to bully Cole. And so I told him, I was like, you can't be mean to Cole. He did nothing wrong. And so he was like, yes, ma'am. And then this kid, Devin, maybe it was Camden. I don't know. They're identical twins. I can't tell them apart. But one of them was like, you just got told by a girl. And I was like, you guess you did. But yeah, Marcus didn't talk for the whole ride.
Yeah, I feel kind of bad for Marcus in a way, just because it's obvious that when you get bullied, it's kind of like the same deal. Like a lot of bullies have trouble at home.
That's what I was about ready to say. You don't.
Well, go ahead.
Well, I mean, as much as we hate bullies and as much as bullying is wrong, you should never, settle for being bullied or watching someone get bullied.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you don't know what they're dealing with. A lot of the time, bullies have a terrible home life, or you don't know what their backstory is. And so that's why it's so, I don't know, with kids this age, it just seems like a circle where bullies bully other people and then people bully the bullies, and it's just like a never-ending circle.
Yeah, and on my bus, you can see that cycle, except Cole, he's one of the nicest people I've met. Like, Marcus basically bullies him because he's like 5 inches shorter than Marcus is.
Marcus bullies him because he's an easy target, and Marcus knows that Cole can't beat him up or he can't do anything.
When you tear someone's pride and you tear them down emotionally and physically, you just tear them down to nothing. So the only way, unfortunately, in most cases, that they can get some of that power back in their life is to power someone else that's even smaller. Mm-hmm. So it's a really sad, vicious cycle. And those kids who are doing it to Marcus, does anyone ever stand up to them?
No.
Why?
Haley, now that you know that he may put on a brave face, he may laugh about it, but it hurts him. And it doesn't matter how someone takes it. I mean, if this is happening over and over and over again, somebody needs to tell those kids to stop. Even if they don't listen to you, just for Marcus to know that you have his back, kind of, even though I know he's not nice and he bullies other people, but he needs somebody. He has very low self-esteem, very low self-confidence.
It seemed like it.
I know it doesn't.
It's because,
that's right. That's what they do to try and hide it.
Yeah, a lot of times bullies, they seem like the most confident ones, but that overcompensation turns into bullying because they're overcompensating because they feel so low, because somewhere, whether it be other kids, whether it be a bigger brother or sister, whether it be parents, someone is making them feel like lower than dirt,
like they're nothing.
So they overcompensate and be overly aggressive to other people to overcompensate for that negativity in their life. Aubrey, do you see anything like that on your bus?
No, I mean I only see.
Do you girls ever get bullied?
No.
I've gotten bullied.
No one bullies me.
2 years ago.
Was it when they were making fun of your disability thing?
They were making on the last day of school, which is kind of sad because last day of school is normally really exciting, but so I didn't know until someone else told me. One of my friends told me, but whenever I was dancing to Just Dance,
Well, that's why they bullied you. You're dancing to Just Dance.
Yeah, seriously.
No. Now you guys make
Every story you come up with, you completely deserve every bit of it.
That's not true. Since they were able to see my pull up, but I didn't know because they're like behind me or something like that. And then whenever we were going in line to go to the bouncy houses, which is like in the gym or whatever, one of my friends told me, yo, do you know there's a kid that was right behind you while you were dancing and saw that you were wearing your pull up. And I'm like, no, I didn't know that. Thank you for telling me.
I'll tell you what, that's a good stopping point for now, because some of our listeners may be wondering why you're 10 and why you have to wear pull-ups.
Yeah.
If you want to find out why she's 10, what she's been through, I know she sounds
If you guys
normal and
want to
perfect
know
now.
why
Yeah.
she's 10,
Or while she's 10 and has to wear pull-ups, and maybe you've heard her cough a little bit during the episode, come back next episode, because this girl's been through a lot, and
Absolutely.
you will hear all about it. Aubrey, you cool with that?
Yeah.
All right, guys. Everybody say bye.
Bye.
You're gonna light up the room. Just take a look around. You're gonna make them dance without making a sound.